there's something very important I need to tell you, which is happy new all-time high. Yes, because just 1 hour ago, we hit 69.3. Of course, the precise price of the previous all-time high depends on which exchange you're looking at, but if we focus to the historic price, the index on TradingView, that one registers the all-time high slightly below 69. And if you focus on the right-hand side of my screen, you can see that the high right now in that index is 69.156. So pretty much $200 and something above the previous all-time high. In the futures account on Binance, you can see that 69.365 got rejected. Throughout the week, the price has been bouncing above the VWAP, like for example here, 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 and here. And I'm really looking forward for the price to actually break this resistance and prove that it can hold above 69K. Really, the last thing that we want to see is a rejection so strong here that it sends us back below this trend line, because that will form a triple top. And people are making jokes about it on Twitter. But today I'm going to show you 2 indicators that show that actually we might get a rejection around here. I think there's a lot of buying going on from the ETF, and this could carry on going higher, but at the same time, I'm seeing a lot of profit taking as well. So let's discuss those indicators. And by the way, at the end of the video, don't go anywhere, because I'm going to look at the 1 day and 4 hour timeframes to see what could be our next swing trade on Bitcoin. So far, this whole move, we have nailed it, both doing the longs and the shorts. So guys, if you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I put out a new video. And the best 2 things that you can do for this channel is to watch the video until the very end and leave a comment below. And if you are interested in getting time-sensitive alerts, do not forget to follow me on Twitter. My handle is Trading Parrot. The first indicator that is calling out for a top, and we are millimeters away from that resistance, is a custom-made indicator I made like 2 or 3 years ago. I made it in the shape of an oscillator, and I made it in the shape of a band indicator. I have done plenty of videos about this, so I'm not gonna go too much into detail, but I just want to keep you up to date with the latest development coming from this indicator. And as you can see, at the top we have a white line that Bitcoin in the whole history has never managed to break above, with the exception of here where the indicator is still not settled. And we are already approaching this resistance, which is something that most of the time we do when we are approaching an all-time high. Of course, with some exceptions, like in this cycle that we have 2 tops, one that happened in April, followed by the final one in November. In the next 2 cycles, we never touch the white line unless we are at the all-time high or very close to it. And you can see very clearly how this oscillator is highlighting the diminishing return nature of this asset. Interestingly, we're getting too close to this resistance, and this is happening prior to the halving. If we get to this line, I'm gonna make sure that you are the first one to know. If you're following me on Twitter, you can find me by Trading Parrot. And of course, if we break above it and this becomes some sort of bullish breakout and we start developing for the first time above this trend line, I'm gonna make a fully dedicated video about that. Recently, I've noticed it's been almost like a party of indicators calling out for a top. It's almost impossible to cover all of them because Bitcoin is really doing something unique. It's just a matter of you watching my past 10 videos and you're gonna get all of them covered. But this one I haven't covered ever. It's called the Golden Ratio Multiplier. It simply uses a 350-day moving average and then some copies of the moving average above the price separated by the multiples of Fibonacci. It's more easy to see if we focus in the past of Bitcoin, like around here, you can see that we have the original 350-day moving average, then you have the 1.6 accumulation high, the 2 potential bull high, and then 3, 5x, 8x, 13, and 21. Those numbers are coming from the series, and the theory says that each cycle, because of the diminishing returns, we are expected to reach one level below the Fibonacci level that we touched in the previous all-time high. So for example, in this one, we are touching this line. That line finishes there because we are expected in the next cycle to hit one level down. It's almost like heading downstairs, one step at a time. In this case, we go 2 steps down because halfway this cycle, there's one top that is reached on this Fibonacci level. And then on the next one, we reach this one. If we take out that second level and we continue, then the next stop is right there. It's almost like magic. In the past cycle, in 2021, again, one level down. But here's the thing. We ran out of those Fibonacci levels. So the next one, if we take out this dotted level there, is the red one. And if we zoom in into that area of the chart, that's precisely where we are. 68K is right where the red level is, which is the next level that we should be heading for. Now, there are 2 potential interpretations that we can do from this data. The first interpretation, which is a little bit of a paranoid, scary person, will be, okay, here's where I'm going to take profits and there won't be any more buying of Bitcoin and I'm just going to call it out. The second interpretation is there's going to be a pullback here from the red level going downwards. The price eventually might touch again the next level coming down, which is the green one. And you're going to say, hold on, but that's located at 52.9. Sure, but that is right now. Let me show you an example. In this cycle, we killed one of the bands, this one here, and it was at the price of $231. If I told you that the next all-time high is going to be in the next band, you will have told me, yeah, but the next band is at $154. So how can that be the next all-time high? That's because this is an early peak of the market. Then the price went back to the red and to the green for a reset and eventually pushing higher. And that's when it met with a band that previously was priced very cheap, but around here is priced at over $1,000. So I think the key is that if we get rejected is to know which levels are typically the support. In this case, we got rejected from this and we found support 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels down. Unfortunately, we cannot do that here because if we go 5 levels below to find support, we run out of levels. Currently, the orange band is located at 33K and the blue at 53K. Let me know in the comments, do you think we are going to respect again the pattern of moving one Fibonacci lower every time we hit a new level? Because pretty much the whole history of Bitcoin, we have been doing that. That's a pattern that has never broken. If we break it now, that will be the first time we do. As I mentioned yesterday in the video on the 4-hour time frame, we currently have the RSI breaking below the support. What I say in yesterday's video is that if we break this level here on the RSI, that is the first step, of course, to break the longer term support on the 4-hour, represented by this other yellow line below. I'm going to continue monitoring this RSI movement because this is the first hint that we get of a potential breakdown of this whole period starting from the 22nd of January. In the daily, I'm seeing something extremely interesting. You can see that the RSI has been jumping here, and yesterday we showed this area of the RSI and we say that the first important clue is where we close today. If today we close the RSI below this line, it's very likely that we're going to start taking some of the liquidity in this area around here, ending up until 52K. It's a very tricky situation because if we go to 52K, that will be 3 rejections coming from the area of the all-time high. That's going to scare a lot of investors, I'm sure. But from my point of view, it will make this cycle a lot healthier than if we continue just printing green candles to the upside. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. I'm gonna keep you updated as well on my Twitter account how we close the day on this. This is extremely important to be able to maintain this parabolic move pushing higher. If you ask me, I prefer the correction. As I say, I'm a little bit late showing you this, but as you can see, all this sell came from the level of the all-time high. Of course, all these people doing shorts think that they can get away with pushing the price lower. As you can see here, the 52 is no longer there. There is some support now that is developing here at 63.9, but not as strong as it used to be when we were at 52K. This is how it looks on the monthly. You can see now on the Big Well Explorer that we are still below the ratio of 1, which means that there are more withdrawals than deposits, which is good, but we are heading now to the upside, and this indicator is delayed by 1 day just because this data is listed once every 24 hours. So we don't know if around here we might be crossing above the ratio of 1, significant for some downside, because this is what the largest wallets are doing in the Bitcoin network. And in regards to the macro economy liquidity, you can see that we have had 4 days with no changes in the liquidity. Nasdaq and S&P pointing down, while Bitcoin has just done all-time highs. And the dominance keeps getting rejected at this level. It really doesn't want to hold above 55, but still we can see that the RSI is pointing above this, which means that there's still some momentum left for potentially another attempt to head towards the level of 57, where I have drawn this resistance that comes from the previous cycle. I think there's a good chance that we might hit that 57 in the coming weeks, so I'm keeping also an eye on this development. Guys, if you want to trade Bitcoin or altcoins, considering getting an account on OKX and also joining this special event that I'm hosting. Check the description, I left a link to join this event. You can win a MacBook Pro, an iPad Air, an Apple Watch, or even USDT. And if you are interested in running trading bots, have a look in the description. There's a link called Copy Trading Bots. You can choose and browse any of these bots. You do not need a subscription, but of course, if you are a VIP member in the TTP community, you are entitled to reduce the success fees to a minimum. Join our Discord server and talk to my team to claim the maximum discount in success fees. Thank you so much for watching, and happy new all-time high to everyone. See you tomorrow.